Hello, pregnant IDW Scorponok enjoyers. My name is Keej TV, and welcome back to another Manchild review. Today we're looking at something I thought I'd never look at again. That is another one of these fucking Super 7 Transformers. This time not an Action Master, this time it's Tarn. Yeah, I know, shocking. I was surprised that this thing went in sale as quick as it did. Well, quick and kind of very large quotation marks, because I think it did take about a year or two. It took a year or two for this thing to even be produced compared to its announcement. But hey, much like the low age rating in his box there, went on sale for 14 quid, a fraction of his original asking price. And I thought, I like Tarn. I like this freak and his cool box that was made for him with all the bells and whistles, all the nice kind of class that you would expect, even if there are a few specs or whatever that is on it. I don't even know if you can see that at the camera. You know, we've done all this before, right? Super 7, nerd shop stuff, overpriced, quality isn't as good as the price tag, etc, etc, but I still find them cool. I still buy them, and this is the third video I'm making about them now. You may be asking, oh well, Keej, there's Legacy Tarn, there's Mastermind Creations Tarn, why would you want one that doesn't transform and you're not even sure how good the quality will be? That's because if we open it up, you will see that this freak here, with his kind of nice colours, these are like different. It's like, he's not purple. That's like really, really dark purple or just straight up black. I'll be honest with you, I don't really care too much about Super 7 Tarn, because, like I just said there, that strawman argument, I have a much better, ratio of Tarn toys I can select from. I want Nickel. I don't know if you can see her there, if there's a big fuck off ring light in the way. I want Nickel, because Mastermind Creations Nickel, very rare. She never got a reissue as far as I know. She's in a box of like another Legends class toy that goes for like 150 quid. Fuck that. This is the closest way I'm getting a Nickel to, just put with a roller in the shelf and have them live happily ever after. But yeah, Tarn, there's his stats, and everybody read those. This was an interesting choice, I thought, right? Because Tarn is a comics book character. He would belong in a kind of, a comic book shop, I suppose, selling this kind of stuff. But it's like, they've weirdly been pushing him an awful lot recently. Haven't you noticed? They're doing like, they're putting him in like the YouTube kids cartoons. They put him in Cyberverse. They're putting him in Legacy, which I lost a bet about that, right? I never thought Tarn would get mainstream, mainstream kind of attention like that. It's not as if he's in the movies or anything, but like, wow, that was something, right? Ugh. Pretty heavy, actually. It's a slightly heavy box. Oh, just get that nice thing out of the way. Here he is, looking a lot cooler than I thought. I thought that would kind of simplify his details. His face looks a bit simple there. But no, you can see there's like really nice dry brushing across the treads there. I wonder if the markings in his face... Yeah, that's not just paint, that's like an actual kind of sculpted detail. That's pretty cool. I still don't know how to feel about... I remember someone talking about this when they first got it, and a person paid full price for it, which I can't help but feel schadenfreude for, sorry. Fucking... It's like a weird kind of like washed out grey of lavender. That's very interesting. The mask doesn't come off, it's like just separate heads, which... I guess, it's better than Legacy, where it's just one, like, static face. That was pretty fucking lame, wasn't it? There's Nickel there, the main reason I bought this, jeez. But hey, who says I can't enjoy this, this Tarn, you know? I should have an open mind to this plastic crap I just bought. There she is. Beautiful. That's everything I wanted, right? Just right there. Just this little freak, this little, refugee who got manipulated by the DJD. That's all you need in life. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm done with this review already, because I've just fucking got her. I hope she has like decent plastic. I'll save her for later. Let's see how Tarn is. Okay, so taking him out, right? I already got a lot of things to say about this guy. This guy weighs a lot more than the Action Masters ones I had. This guy has quite a good weight to him. Okay, that scared the shit out of me. That arm wasn't moving for a second there, and I just heard a big click. Ow! Ugh, that was nasty. Okay, very stiff. He's a big boy. He's got all these big crazy joints. Interesting. I'm noticing stylization already. His feet. What the fuck? His feet are... So I'm so used to the Mastermind Creations one that like whatever this is kind of weirding me out. He's a big guy, not as articulated as I would expect him to be, especially if he doesn't need to transform. The skirt thing here is like really flimsy plastic. Okay. I like this, by the way. He has the kind of sharp hands, like how Alex Milne would draw him for like on the covers and stuff. I think it was Alex Milne. He has like entirely new hands, which are separate from any of the kind of other G1 guys, which I think is just a sign that they have really went all out for Tarn, because he has like he's got the mask and the face. If you want to do some kind of like weird thing with that, does that even fit on? I don't know. Is that anything? Is that can I even focus? Yeah, whatever. He has this big fuck off double fusion cannon, which I feel like what the. Wait, am I being trolled? Oh, right. Yeah, I got a wee scare there. Okay, so it plugs in like this, so you can do like a kind of symmetrical thing. Cool, cool. I don't know if that's oversized or not. It still looks cool, doesn't it? Right? It's like it's a bit of a stylized, chunky double fusion cannon, which is still such a sentence to say. Like it shouldn't work, but it really does for this character, especially if you know everything that he kind of represents, which I feel like a shockingly small amount of people do now that he's going mainstream. Like no one 100% gets this guy, or at least that's what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? I feel like just quick wee little nerdy IDW tangent, right? I feel like with Tarn, right, and a reason why he gets a lot of this kind of new merch they're trying to push him, right, is because he has the initial cool appeal, right? He is this big double fusion cannon Decepticon, like perfect Decepticon, like soldier guy, right? But the inevitable conclusion is that the Decepticons are a flawed, militia, ideology, army, whatever the fuck you want to call them, right? They are flawed. They are stinky. They're stupid. They're named dumb things like Gut Cruncher and Laserbeak, just daft names like that, right? So that would mean that the perfect Decepticon, he's probably flawed because they are the baddies. They are not the good guys, right? I mean, the guy's like evil. He's tall, dark. He's part of the Decepticon Gestapo, essentially, right? And I think James Roberts was smart, very smart with this, where the perfect Decepticon is just insanely flawed. And you think, okay, well, where do you take that? Is he just like evil and selfish and stupid? No, no, no. He's a smart guy, right? Because he's in charge of this Decepticon GJD thing. He's always going up against like deadly opponents. He fights Grimlock in like his first appearance, right? He is a good fighter, right? They made sure of that to make sure he was like this big evil his big evil presence, right? But he's flawed as in where he comes from, his motivation, who he really is. Tarn is, well, if you read the comics, right? Spoilers, by the way, for a 12-year-old comic. Tarn is basically a nerd with who was just absolutely cast aside by the world, punished by the government, punished by society around him, and Megatron took advantage of that. Where Optimus Prime offered him the honest, maybe not as rewarding kind of way to use his powers for the better up against what was seemingly a massive threat that he couldn't counter. The Autobot, like Zeta Prime government, the Decepticons. Glitch didn't accept that, and he, listened to the man who just told him what he wanted to hear, who would turn him into this big foreboding guy who was apparently part of this crazy new world-leading ideology. And obviously he suffers from it. He's like compulsive and obsessive. He's just he's the perfect foil for an Autobot Megatron, if you ask me, because it's Megatron realizing that now that everything's over, he was wrong. He hates it, and he wants to spend the last few days doing something right. But Tarn is there to remind him that it's not that easy. He doesn't get to just get away with it. He is still Megatron, who did all this horrible stuff. And more than any other Autobot, more than any other kind of trial, Tarn reminds him the most of what he's done. And that's perfect. That's such a good opponent. That's why I think Tarn stuck about so much, because Autobot Megatron is such an interesting concept. Probably my favorite fictional character of all time, right? And the only way you could get the most out of that concept is by having this evil prick be so interesting, which I just noticed he's missing his Decepticon insignia. That's... Where'd it go? You couldn't put like a nice lavish gold Decepticon symbol there? I don't know. I can't, sometimes I feel like it's cool that like Tarn's face is the symbol, but if we're talking about the comics, there should be one right there. Yeah, I kind of like this weird, like almost kind of like, you know, do you remember in 2007 where Optimus get the Night Watch repaint? Like the Bayverse Night Watch Optimus Prime? This feels like Night Stalker Tarn or like Night Watch Tarn. The colors are just different enough. I don't know, it's something interesting. But yeah, um, I feel like people don't understand that about Tarn. They think he's just another big bad guy. They feel like he's like Lugnut. Where Lugnut, it's like, oh, I'm so loyal. But Lugnut, you know, just for simplicity's sake, he's not as deep as that. Lugnut is a funny cartoon character, and that's perfectly fine. I feel like Lugnut's like he's iconic for a lot of reasons. He is like the kind of he's at the climax of Transformers Animated. He is important to that story as well, right? But Tarn, I feel like just on a more kind of meta level is something interesting for giving these characters maybe a wee bit more depth, especially when it's a comic book. You can get away with a lot more stuff that isn't just syndicated to like children's television. And just for the sake of comparison, real quick, here it is. The last two Super 7 guys we looked at. You get Banzaitron, Bombshell. Tarn's like about a head taller than that's kind of freaky. They're kind of getting mocked by this guy. Also, he was literally every other Tarn I've got lying about here. Oh. Yeah, just this specific comparison. This is the one I kind of wanted to look at because I think it's just crazy seeing how, I don't know, how crazy it is to see the fact that three of these here, they are official. Like Hasbro licensed these. Hasbro made this one in their like main line. That's crazy coming off of like even maybe 2020. I think I made that bet with Ralph Hot Wheels where I said they'll never make a legacy Tarn. This guy, he's too specific to the kind of story he's in. He's not like, he's not kind of brand friendly. He's not like kid friendly. There's no way they would put him in like a toy line, right? And we're just looking at this shit here. I'm wrong. I thought the only way we would ever get a Tarn figure would be Mastermind Creations here, who, yeah, he's still my favorite. He still has the presence. He still has that kind of accuracy, even if, I'm trying to think of a criticism for this toy, but like, genuinely, I can't think of much. Sometimes I shit myself when I transform because like the joints can be a bit tight, but I'd rather they be tight than loose in these kind of pricey masterpiece toys. Tarn has gone to the point where he has a blocky. He has like a little, like cheap kind of model kit made of him, just as like a little kind of like, supermarket kind of like last minute checkout buy. Is that not crazy? He made it into Cyberverse. Cyberverse is the most like YouTube kids cartoon of all time, and honestly, right, I can't help but ponder out loud as I tend to do in these big long-winded videos how a character so specific to James Roberts' vision of redeemed Autobot trying to be redeemed Autobot Megatron facing his worst fears, facing reality in the form of the monster he's created, this Frankenstein's monster of propaganda and militant fascism and stuff like that, right? And I can't believe they turn him into a guy with a Joker smile for a kid's cartoon, then they put that in Legacy. I don't have the actual Legacy Tournament, sorry. I just have this one. It's close enough. You know how it is. Also, he has that sword. That's cool. And I just can't help but wonder what's next for this character because, again, like I've been saying, he feels so specific to More Than Meets the Eye. He's like handmade for that story and not much else. And I think especially with things like Transformers 1, with Megatronus and all that, will Tarn kind of slowly fade away? What are they keeping him around for? Just because he's a cool character? Because, yeah, but like, you can reinterpret other things. The Beast Wars characters, they've been reinterpreted from movies and TV and stuff like that. And then Cyberverse had to go with Tarn. They kind of remade his entire story so he wouldn't be so specific and he'd make sense in that context. And I wonder, like, is Tarn going to become one of these characters who's just reinvented over and over again to fit a specific story? Is there anything specific to his character that will survive from iteration to iteration? Because all we know is he's a Decepticon and he takes it very seriously, right? It's interesting. It's interesting, and I think like this is my kind of version of like these G1 boomers kind of growing up and seeing their characters getting like twisted and reinterpreted and reimagined. It's like, where are they going to go with this guy? And I think that's something to very much think about coming off this review. What happens to Damas? What happens to Glitch? What happens to Tarn? Who is this guy? Is this guy like even going to be around in the next 10, 20 years? Is he going to be like so different that you can't even recognize him? I don't know. And that's kind of exciting because we know these guys need to keep printing money, they keep selling shit to us. So what are they going to do? That's very interesting to think about. But yeah, this was a lot better than I thought it would be. He gets a pretty lavish treatment from Super 7 here. Certainly a lot better than the Action Masters did, which is shocking to me because this character does not have the epic 40-year-old nostalgia points from G1. That cartoony Tarn... Fuck you. That cartoony Tarn face is kind of taking me out a little bit. It's like he did actually appear in the G1 cartoon though. That's like season 4 Tarn who's up to no good and whispers evil things into Galvatron's ear. That's kind of funny. That aside though, fuck all that gay nerd talk where I talk about character motivation and intelligent writing and making a semi-decent story. Let's talk about the one I actually bought this set for, Lil Nickel. And it's crazy how you get like kind of another figure with this one, even if like she can't move her legs, she just rotates her hips. She has like little hands, the arms are always bent, and there's paint chipping on her little things. God fucking damn it! But yeah, she has a little jetpack. She can move her head. She looks funny. That's honestly good enough for me with wee Nickel here. I like her, and I think she's way better than Tarn because this is my show and I can say whatever I want. We'll just live in the moment, right? Flaws and all. I think this is okay. It was a means to an end for me to get, you know, Nickel. But other than that, this was just a wee quick one. I just felt like talking shit. And if you're still listening, right? Because I was on my way out there, right? I was talking shit. I figured that would be a good way to see who actually watches these things. The two people that watch these things. And I want to say thank you by telling you that, well, I don't really need this Tarn, right? He looks cool, he looks interesting, he looks swag, but I don't really need him. And I feel like other people would appreciate him, especially, you know, not for £90. So, not counting the Nickel, if you go to the Keej TV Discord server, the Keej Republic, with whatever the hell we're calling it, because we change the name every 5 days, I will be giving away this Tarn when this video drops. You just go into that server, you find out the details how to enter for the giveaway, and yeah, I'd like to see you there. Hopefully you can wait for all the shit posts and bizarre talk, and have a good time, maybe get to know some people, and have a chance to win this Tarn. But other than that, hope you're doing well. My name is Keej TV, and I'll see you for the giveaway results. Bye bye.